Good morning, welcome back, and it's just a few days later and I think I've pretty much got all the parts that will need to be painted together, or at least assembled here on the lift. Yep, everything's pretty loose. I took the forks apart, for example. What I'm trying to do is just check fitment first of all, and obviously I'll need to do undercoat primer, but getting everything together, including nuts and bolts where I can, but I do recognise there's a lot of work and I'll need to get some new nuts and bolts. The rest of them I'll show you in just a second, but this is what it looks like at the moment. Again, original nuts and bolts. Some of them look pretty rough and I'll be cleaning them up as much as I can for plating, but I'll probably need to buy some new nuts and bolts and fasteners. And what I'm trying to do is identify all the parts that will need to be painted blue, and I think I'm up to about 50 parts so far, and I'll include a list of all those parts in the description, just in case you're interested. Forgot to show you as well, but I also have a pair of the Manxman mufflers, the silencers. Can you believe it? I'll give you a closer look sometime, and they probably will need re-chroming, but they are the original ones. And then that's a blue paint experiment that's going to be repainted. But yes, I started with a box of nuts and bolts like this for both bikes, and I'm gradually cleaning them up with a wire wheel and some fine glass paper to get them cleaned up in preparation for plating. And then I'm really pleased to say that I've found a ton of parts for the second Manxman, and I've just loosely refitted some of these parts on the second bike. Never expected it to be as complete as it would be. That embellishment there is just stuck on with tape temporarily because I'll need to strip that tank at some point. But yeah, I can't believe how many parts I found. It was like a jigsaw puzzle putting this back together, but I'm real pleased about how it's coming back together. Need to do some work on the front mudguard and struts. That headlight assembly is really nice. And then one of the things I'm most pleased with is that tail light assembly. I even found the rubber strip that goes around it to protect the mudguard from getting scratched. And also I do have a second set of the Manxman pipes. I'd bought those years ago, and getting this second bike has been so advantageous because I can now use this second set of pipes on this bike. One thing I do not have yet is the header pipes, the exhaust pipes with the kink in them, where the tacho or the rev counter cable goes around due to this drive here. Great progress overall. The next job now will be to strip everything down from this bike in particular and take all the nuts and bolts, clean them all up, and start putting them into categories for plating and chrome plating, cad plating, and then painting, whether it's primer or final blue paint. Okay, it's just a few hours later, and here are all the parts disassembled on the lift. These are all the parts that I believe need to be painted, and obviously I'll confirm that as I go. I've got some more stripping to do as well on these pieces that I didn't have stripped to begin with, because I wanted to just keep hold of the blue for paint matching. There's also a couple of pieces, if not more, that I'm not entirely sure if they want to be blue. And here are just some of the chrome pieces that I will need to review in a lot more detail. I may buy some new parts instead of trying to get them re-chromed, depending on the condition and the cost. These are a set of header pipes. They're not specifically for the Manxman, but actually for the 650SS, so they should fit. They're new old stock pipes that I got, and I'll probably fit those on until I get a set of Manxman pipes. Here are some of the nuts and bolts off the bike, and as you can see, they're in pretty grimy condition, so I'll clean these all up and then we'll get them washed and ready for plating. Here are all the nuts and bolts on the bench, and I'm still sifting through them, putting them into different types of categories. And then I've just finished my first batch in the ultrasonic cleaner, and I've finished 40 minutes of the first batch here, and that's them all there, cleaned and washed and ready for just putting on the surface plate before I take them for plating.